What if the best preventative medicine wasn't some complex high-tech gadget or a new prescription you had to get every month?
What if it was just a snack?
Exactly. What if
Yeah.
it was something really simple, traditional, and, something you just ate every single day?
That's the whole premise of the source material we're looking at today. It's a surprising idea because we're so conditioned to wait for the big diagnosis.
Right. You wait for the symptoms to get so bad you have to act.
Precisely. But what these sources argue is that most chronic diseases, type 2 diabetes, heart issues, even bone density loss, they don't just appear.
They're not an event.
They're a process. They start years, maybe decades earlier, with these tiny, unnoticed nutritional gaps that just accumulate while we're busy living our lives.
Okay, so let's dig into the mechanics here. For this deep dive, our mission is really focused on this idea of preventive nutrition. And it's delivered through a very specific traditional food, the dry fruit and seed laddu. Now, for anyone who isn't familiar, just think of it as like a dense, nutrient-packed energy ball.
Common in South Asian tradition, made from things like nuts, seeds, dried fruits.
And the point here isn't an occasional health kick. We're analyzing how a small, consistent daily habit can provide massive long-term protection. It's about finding that quiet, preventive nutrition that works while you live your life.
It really forces a reframing of how we think about health, not as an expense, but as a mandatory daily investment.
Yes, and that's where the source material gets really compelling for me. It draws this stark contrast between that small daily investment and what they call the real cost of waiting.
The cost of waiting is huge.
It's easy to look at the cost of a snack, a few cents or $1 a day. But the sources ask you to zoom out, look at the real financial, the emotional, the mental burden of a preventable disease.
And they had some figures that, they really stick with you. The lifetime cost of managing something like uncontrolled type 2 diabetes or heart disease.
It must be astronomical.
We're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars when you factor in prescriptions, specialist visits, hospital stays. The investment in one nutrient-dense laddu a day is, obviously is a tiny fraction of that.
But it's not just the money, is it?
Not at all. It's the reduction in stress, in anxiety, that comes with preventable illness. The goal here is to normalize prevention using real food, not synthetic chemicals from a lab.
And a huge part of that, according to the sources, is tackling the one ingredient that really underpins so much modern disease, refined sugar.
Exactly. And the argument they make isn't just about empty calories, it's that sugar fundamentally rewires your system.
How so?
Well, refined sugar trains your body to crave these intense, short-lived energy spikes. It leads to constant insulin surges. And over time, as the sources put it, that whole system of metabolic regulation just starts to burn out.
You lose that flexibility.
You do. Your body is just constantly looking for its next quick fix.
So, if that refined sugar trap is the problem, what's the solution in this traditional approach? How do these lattice give you energy without starting that whole vicious cycle?
The sources are really, really rigorous on this point. Zero refined sugar, and interestingly, zero jaggery.
Which is surprising because jaggery is often seen as a healthier alternative.
It is, but it can still be metabolized very quickly. So the stability here, the slow burn energy, it comes entirely from the combination of dates, healthy fats from the nuts and seeds, and all the fiber.
Okay, so that combination is key.
It's everything. It ensures a slow, steady release of glucose into the bloodstream. It's sustainable energy. It keeps everything running smoothly without the spikes and crashes.
That makes perfect sense. The goal is daily nourishment, not a quick sugar rush. So let's shift gears a bit. If we agree that these aren't miracle cures, but more like preventive maintenance,
That's a great way to put it.
then let's break down the mechanics. How do these specific ingredients provide targeted relief for the problems we're all facing today?
Let's start with one almost everyone listening can relate to. That screen-tired eye feeling. That 3 p.m. grittiness.
I know it well.
The sources suggest that's not just fatigue, it's a nutrient deficiency. We stare at screens for 8, 10, maybe 12 hours a day, but we almost never eat specifically for our eye health.
And we know from other research that we need things like vitamin E, zinc, and antioxidants for eye health. Did the sources get into how this snack actually delivers those?
They did, and it's a really efficient delivery system. They specifically call out 3 things. First, almonds and sunflower seeds.
Okay.
They're in there for the vitamin E, which is crucial for helping your eyes retain moisture and reducing that oxidative stress.
Right.
Then you have pumpkin seeds, which are packed with zinc for cellular repair.
And the third?
Walnuts, for nerve protection. I mean, think about the complex signals your eyes are sending to your brain all day. It's basically saying your eyes don't need another software update. They need actual fuel.
I love that. It's not about a break. It's about building materials. Okay, so that's an immediate issue. What about the slow burn problems, the things that matter decades from now? The sources talk a lot about bone health before you're 40.
Yes, because that's the critical window. After about age 30, you hit your peak bone mass. After that, it's a slow, inevitable decline.
So if you're deficient now,
that decline gets a lot faster. And with our modern, mostly indoor lifestyles, a lot of us are chronically deficient in key minerals without even realizing it.
so the traditional solution here is sesame seeds for calcium. But calcium is famously hard for the body to absorb. How do the sources address that?
That's where the synergy comes in. Calcium on its own isn't enough. It needs magnesium to be transported and absorbed into the bone matrix properly.
Right. Otherwise, it's just wasted.
Or worse, it can end up calcifying soft tissues. So Valadu addresses this by pairing the high-calcium sesame seeds with the magnesium-rich profile of all the other nuts and seeds in the mix. It's a beautifully simple, complete delivery system.
Okay, let's move to circulation. The creeping blood pressure problem, we always blame stress and salt. But did the sources find a nutritional gap there too?
They argued that while stress and sodium are definitely factors, the core nutritional gap for many people is a severe lack of magnesium and potassium.
The minerals that balance out the sodium.
Exactly. Our diets are often loaded with sodium, but we're missing the minerals needed to regulate it. Magnesium helps relax the smooth muscles in your blood vessels, and potassium helps with fluid balance.
And how confident were the sources that a daily snack could actually move the needle on something as serious as blood pressure?
It's all about consistency. They were clear. No single snack is going to cure hypertension, but the daily consistent intake provides a preventative baseline. You get magnesium from pumpkin and sunflower seeds, potassium from dates, and the healthy fats help keep the blood vessels flexible.
So you're investing in the long-term flexibility of your entire vascular system.
That's it, exactly.
So if we connect this to the bigger picture, we're moving beyond single issues and into systemic support. Things like hormonal health, cardiac health.
Right, things that require complex micronutrient interactions. And the sources had a fascinating take on fertility and hormonal issues. They pointed to two hidden culprits.
Okay, what were they?
First, the obvious one, micronutrient deficiencies. But second, and just as important, chronic gut inflammation. If your gut is inflamed, it affects everything, especially how your hormones are produced and regulated.
So what's the nutritional fix for that? You'd need ingredients for hormone production and for that inflammation piece.
You do, and it's all in there. You have the omega-rich walnuts and flax seeds, which are foundational building blocks for hormones. Then you have sesame, dates, and figs to deliver iron, which is so often deficient, especially in women.
And what about the gut part, the fiber?
That's the often overlooked hero. The fiber from the dates and nuts acts as a prebiotic, reducing inflammation in the gut lining. And when the gut is healthy, it can communicate properly with your endocrine system. Hormones get metabolized and detoxified more smoothly.
I think it's important to stress what the sources said here. This isn't about so-called fertility food.
No, not at all. It's about giving the body the fundamental tools it needs to function normally and just calm down the chronic stress.
And that idea of a silent buildup is maybe most critical when we talk about brain and heart health. Strokes, heart attacks. The sources say these are built silently over years.
Exactly. This is the ultimate long game. The focus here is pure inflammation mitigation and circulatory support. Walnuts and flax, again, provide those plant-based omega-3s, which are so critical for keeping the walls of your arteries healthy and plastic.
But the question for our listeners is always going to be, how much can a snack really do for serious markers like HDL or LDL cholesterol? Is this real, or is it just general good advice?
It's the difference between medication and foundation. The sources are clear this isn't a statin replacement. But the daily dose of antioxidants helps protect against the damage that causes plaque to build up in the first place.
And what about the cholesterol itself?
The healthy, unsaturated fats from the nuts actively support an increase in HDL, the good cholesterol, which then helps clear excess LDL from the system. It's about creating an internal environment where your body is constantly playing defense.
Finally, let's touch on weight struggles. I found the source material's dual approach to this really insightful. It addresses both weight gain and weight loss.
Yes, and it flips the script on being overweight. The sources argue that many people who are overweight are actually deeply undernourished.
So their body is just screaming for nutrients.
Constantly. It's sending out frantic craving signals because it's not getting what it needs from calorie-dense but nutrient-empty foods.
And the laddu, with its healthy fats and protein, creates real satiety. It shuts those signals down.
Precisely. It gives the body what it's actually asking for, so it stops asking for more. The fats slow digestion. The protein sends strong satiety signals to the brain. It just reduces the urge for those quick-fix cravings.
And on the flip side, for someone who's underweight,
they need concentrated, easy-to-digest energy, and nuts and seeds are one of the most energy-dense foods in nature. This gives them a huge caloric and micronutrient boost in a small package, without forcing them to eat a large, heavy meal. It provides that baseline of wholesome fuel, no matter your starting point.
So what does this all mean for you? I think the core message from all these sources is that the real power of preventative health lies in making one small, delicious, mindful choice every day. It's not about expensive cleanses or complicated routines. It's about leveraging the power of consistency over the impossible pursuit of perfection.
And that brings us to the biggest takeaway, I think. The ultimate goal isn't just physical. It's psychological. The sources really drove home this idea that a consistently healthy body helps create a peaceful mind.
A less reactive life.
A happier, less reactive life. So if we accept that chronic health issues are built silently over years, it raises an important final question for you to think about. What small, sustainable nutritional habit, beyond just the latitude we talked about today, could you start now that would radically change the trajectory of your health a decade from now?